You're listening to 90.5 KCSU. I'm Laurel Turner, and in here with me today is Post Paradise, local band, and they're pretty great. And they've been playing live at. And
we're gonna put that on our website. They're pretty great.
They're pretty great.
That's a quote. You heard it here. Pretty great.
Oh gosh, I'll check your website and be like, they're pretty great. KCSU.
We'll take down our banner on Facebook. Just gonna be that. They're pretty great.
They're okay.
I like it.
They're pretty okay.
Yeah, so we are from Fort Collins. We have an EP release happening tonight. We played yesterday at the Music District for a Live at Lunch performance, and then we're playing Hodie's Half Note tonight. And this is going to be the big release of our brand new EP. So, what was the other question?
That was pretty much it. Why don't you tell the folks at home what is Post Paradise? Why should they listen to you?
Yes, so we are a 4-piece indie rock band with a lead cellist instead of a lead guitar. It's a little twist.
Yep, I play electric cello and I have lots of weird effects.
Her pedal board's bigger than mine. So we also are, if you haven't seen us before, we have a crazy light show that we handle ourselves and built ourselves and program. And it's going to be a really fun time.
I was going to ask, so you've got Side B that's come out today.
Today,
yeah. Side A was a year ago, and then you had Digging Secrets before that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what was kind of the process and the development between those three albums? Because your sound is still you, but there's some differences in there. Definitely.
So we, Digging Secrets we ended up getting a whole new rhythm section that was
right.
in 2013. So Mark, our drummer, and then at the time it was Chris, our bass player. And we ended up, that record is so interesting to me because listening to it now, it's so pop. It's like very much a pop record, and then now we're much more like, it feels more where we are now, like the rock type thing. Bring It to Life is just so much harder edged, even though they're mostly love songs. Whereas Digging Secrets is like really depressing content, like lyrically, but then it's also like poppy, happy sounding songs. So it's really interesting that way. But it was nice because when Mark first joined the band, it was 2 months of rehearsals and stuff like that. And then we hit the road. And then we came back and it was like, let's make a record. So, within like 3.5, 4 months of them being in the band, we went into the studio and made that record, and it was awesome. And now we had, 2 years to kind of live with those tracks and play those and add other things and decide kind of where we want to take it. So this was much more like, we just had a lot more time to simmer and think about it all. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the last two, well, Side A and Side B, I think they definitely still kind of, they channel that 90s vibe that I think a lot of millennials like myself really enjoy, but you don't really hear that much anymore. You certainly don't hear it with cello.
I think by 90s vibe you mean using a guitar.
Playing instruments.
Sometimes I think about that. Yeah, it's like even friends of ours that will be they're like a regular like rock sort of lineup. It's like most of the stuff is laptop or backing tracks, and there's a lot of electronic elements.
Mm-hmm.
So because we use backing stuff, but it's only like in between songs, so it's just like a little drone notes and things like that to kind of keep the show going. So the technology is so much fun to play with, but I don't know, we still really like the live band, like all the sounds you're hearing are made by us, and that's kind of a fun aspect.
So for people that have gone to FOCO MX or have gone to New West Fest and are somewhat familiar with the local venues and the local music scene, they're going to be familiar with you guys. But you guys started back in 2009, and I was curious to see just how is it that you kind of view yourselves in the local music scene? Like, did you ever think you would get to the point where, like, people know who you are and people go to see you at concerts and they have lines down the block to go and see you guys? Like, how's that been for you?
It's cool. I hope people know who we are. It's fun. Longevity has been a cool part of this band. Like, I've never been in any project for this long. And it's just sort of like, Amy and I are the original members, and we just basically kept it going, and we've got a really, really good lineup now. Mark and Brian are awesome, and our bass player and drummer. So it's cool to come into a radio interview and have people know who you are, to say like, oh, I've known you guys for a while. Like, oh, awesome. All right. Because we've been like this last year, we've been going to other, states and other colleges and things and college radio, and it's like, so what do you do? What are you about? And here it's like, oh, Post Paradise, okay. Yeah. So that's always a fun side effect of being around for a while.
And I mean, I think that's always the hope in being a band, that people will know who you are and show up, but it's always still kind of surprising when we have a huge show. We're like, oh, a lot of people showed up. Like,
Yes. New West Fest was like that, actually, because we did just an acoustic set this time, and it was really interesting. We didn't really know what to expect because we haven't done like a show that big and just an acoustic kind of a thing. So it was really just like the people were really like they were all on our side. We'll put it that way. Like they showed up and they were just like amazing. They were really happy that we were playing. We're just getting the strangest situations. There's always just like it doesn't matter where we are or like who we're talking. Like you just meet the most interesting people, and I don't know. It's crazy. All these experiences are so exciting and weird, and every show is different. Every single one, every green room, every parking situation, it's like there's just always the crazy story.
Do you have a crazy story that you could share on the radio that you can think of? I'm just gonna put you on the spot since you brought it up.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's sort of like picking one. We've had one where we've played with like, I won't name the headliner, but big bands, traveling in buses, and you've heard of them, and it's like we'll park our van and start loading in. And one of their like handlers runs out, like it's this federal event. He's just like, you guys, you're parked too close to the bus. You gotta move. And like the bus is, it's chocked. Like they have the wheels are, there's the triangle things blocking it in there. Like it's parked for the night and they're not going anywhere. But we're literally too close, like 10 feet away from their thing while we're loading in. So we're like, oh, okay, all right. So we, close the van up, half load it out, and move another 10 feet away, and then we continue loading in. And like 5 minutes later, this guy runs back out. It wasn't far enough, guys. I'm sorry. It's like we're not blocking anything. We're just literally too close to their bus. So we just keep getting further and further away from the stage as we're
You're
loading in.
just a half mile away. But you are too close to the bus.
And then when we were done, because we were right before that headliner, when we were done, like I don't know how they fit this many people on the bus, but other handlers come out and they like basically stood in front of us to like block us from attacking the other band as they're walking onto the stage. And it's like it's not
just us.
it's cool, guys. We're just here working, like
just here to play music.
Yeah, but it was just so interesting. Like I don't know when you get to that point, but
that's crazy.
Yeah, you never know. And then other times we'll play with other bands that are super cool. And
yeah.
It's just like totally like we didn't even talk to that other band.
We weren't allowed to.
No, there was a radius.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta stay away.
I feel like there are very few like stories or moments that you hear about where an artist can just go into a studio or something and just make something. We were talking about this where there's stories about like Aretha Franklin, right? When she first got famous down in Alabama, she was recording and she hadn't been successful for years. And she just went up to a piano in the studio and just busted out I Ain't Never Loved a Man, like just did it. And she'd never played it before. She just kind of made it up as she went, and they were like, okay, can you do that again, and we're just gonna record you. Sometimes you hear about that, like the Rolling Stones, right, where they had a dream, then they wrote it and that was their song.
So cool.
And I feel like you don't hear about that so much anymore.
Everything has to be very, very like to a T, it's
almost overproduced.
It's recorded to death and written by 15 different people, and
you don't kind of layer on layer on layer.
You lose some of those magic moments, that I don't know.
Yeah, the organicness of it. Mm-hmm. It's cool. Okay, last question is a fun one and this is for both of you. If you could pick any artist or any musician, alive or dead, to jam with, who would you pick?
Wow, I've never been asked this before.
Yay.
Amy, you go first.
Why do I have to go first?
Because I don't have anybody yet.
You know so much more of these things.
I would really like to jam with Billy Corgan, just because we would probably play for 30 seconds and then I would just be asking him about gear over and over again, and amplifiers and modifications and et cetera. So, and I hear he's like a really interesting dude to talk to, so it would probably be the strangest interaction. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's probably that.
Billy Corgan.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a really hard question. It's a good question.
Maybe Bach, and just have him write.
I think he would be like, "What are you doing?"
Have him write
Why
you something real quick. Imagine
cello?
that though. If he was around with electric cellos and things, he'd be like, "Look what I can do."
He would probably just faint. Be
He
like,
would
"What
love
is
it.
this?"
He would have all these.
I wonder if he rolls over in his grave hearing.
No, he'd have all these crazy inspirations and just like write this amazing stuff.
Yeah,
Some new cello
he could just write
suites,
you a crazy symphony. Like
Does that
6
count
minutes.
as jamming if he's just writing me things? I guess maybe he'd play
No.
piano while
I'm sure
I doubt he
would,
played
yeah.
cello. Maybe he did. I don't know.
Do
I
you
can't
know
say that,
the
honestly.
Russian cellist Rostropovich?
Yes.
Yeah, that's who I would jam with because
He's
he was
pretty
just so
fantastic.
crazy and he was this old guy and he would just bust it out.
Actually, that cellist Zoe Keating, she does like crazy loop pedal stuff, and
Yeah.
she's pretty fantastic. That would probably be really fun to play with her.
Cool.
Bach or Zoe Keating. That's my answers.
I hope you're listening, Zoe and Billy Corgan.
Yeah.
Let's make a project. Let's do this.
Let's do this. Crazy album.
We got some free time during the holidays, I think.
Guys, thank you so much for coming in and doing the interview today.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
having us.
And if anybody out there was listening and you dig Post Paradise, their new album, Side B of Bring It to Life, comes out today, and they're playing at Hody's. And where are you guys playing after that?
We're going to be doing, let's see, on
going on
Wednesday.
tour.
Yeah, so Wednesday we're
Wednesday.
playing in Lincoln, Nebraska, and then we're going to be out in Rochester.
Wow, that's quite
and
a
then
lot of
we're out
travel.
in Madison, and then Omaha. Yeah, so we're
All
going to be
over.
bouncing around next couple. Yeah,
Yep.
But tonight you're here and you're going to be at Hody's releasing your album.
Yep.
Mhm.
Great.
And if you want information about tickets or upcoming shows or anything like that, you can go to our website, www.postparadiserock.com.
Cool.
We're also on the other, social media machines.
Facebook.
You can find us just about anywhere. Come say hello.
Cool. Well, guys, thank you so much again.
Thank you. This is fun.
Thought I was never going swimming.